let's jump into our chat. Unfortunately, we have to start with a tough discussion. Takeoff was recently tragically killed in Houston. I'm a really, really big Migos fan. It goes without saying. And, finding this out, it was like 5 a.m. and my girl texted me. And we had just had a conversation about like finding things out through social media. And social media has kind of given us these live updates on things. So like you'll see people talking about things and everyone's trying to find information, find details, and like false narratives are running, all that. And so it's like 5 a.m. I'm up texting her, so I immediately go to the timeline, I search, and then I see, oh shit, like Takeoff was shot, and then he's like officially pronounced dead. Everyone's waiting for the TMZ confirmation because they're the ones to confirm
Notorious.
it. And it's just like for that to happen on the first day of November, it was just like really, really sucked. Really sucked.
I don't know. It's just like you said, I'm an avid Migos fan too. Like I tweeted that I feel like I was already heartbroken that they broke up.
Yeah.
Because I remember I would watch like one of their earlier Breakfast Club interviews, and where they would say, because the I don't know if it was Charlamagne, whoever had asked them, I see you guys are doing separate projects, because at the time I think Offset had did a song by himself, Quavo was doing a song by himself.
Yeah.
Like, what's the future for the Migos? Are you guys breaking up? And they're like, no, like we're just gonna continue making music. And when you grow up, when you see all of these groups to break up, you're like, you kind of see like how people start to break up. But for them to like solidify, like, no, we're just, we respect each other and support each other. So I was like, oh, this is like my group. Like these are people that I can really just depend on being together. So when they broke up and it was just Quavo and Takeoff, that already broke my heart.
Yeah, it sucked.
You know what I'm saying?
Really
it already sucked. And I was like, they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I was actually at work when I found out. I, scroll on my phone, God forgive me, it was downtime. And like at first they're like, oh, Quavo and Takeoff got shot. And then I was like, what? Then then they're like, oh, he's dead. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then it was confirmed, and like my whole, like, I'm still kind of shaken up about it because it's just, he's just so out of the way. You know what I'm saying? And if there was going to be any one of them out of the three of them that was going to bring the Migos back together, it was going to be him. Yeah. When he did the interview, I think it was like, I don't know if it was Angie Martinez or whomever, him and Quavo, where, Quavo was kind of just adamant on the whole it's loyalty.
Yeah.
I don't know about coming back together. And he was just like, what, that's family, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, like, him? Like, not to say it should be either one of them, but like, it's like double heartbreak, But it just sucks. And then for it to be accidental just makes it even worse.
Yeah. It's it's really tough. He's just like, college just wouldn't have been the same without Migos music. Like, and he always did his thing. Like, everyone had the conversations about who's the best, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't matter. But a lot of people feel like Takeoff is the best, and he had a really strong case for it. And, when Offset was in jail, like, Takeoff and Quavo held it down, but Takeoff was really like the one, like one of the most talented within the group.
Yeah.
And I think the most frustrating part is like, while we look to TMZ for the confirmation of things, them including pictures and videos in it is just like, people don't want to see that. Like,
no one wants to see that.
You gotta give a trigger warning. And then people resharing the videos on social media, or people making up stories, and everyone wants to have conversations about dice games in the street and all that. It's like, shut the fuck up and just mourn. Literally. Why do we always have to be social media detectives and investigators and judge and jury? Like, someone died. Someone lost a family member, a brother, a partner, whatever. Like, we lost someone that we're a fan of. That's really all we should be talking about. So, it just gets really nasty, and the blaming it on gangster rap and all that. It's like, I don't. Go ahead, please.
I just hate it because, like you said, I feel like a lot of but the issue is, the reason why people are doing it is because everyone is looking to be an internet journalist or like an internet, everyone's looking for that next hit tweet or like the most plugged in person, right? And then it's the irony of it all, because they will post the video and be like, oh, y'all are so fucked up for posting this. And then they'll post, the next post will be like, damn, everyone is looking for that shock factor and to be the first one to post it. Even the people that broke the news, I think it was like Say Cheese. It was like a Say Cheese blog or something like that. They're like, why I got it? So somebody commented like, yo, like, why are y'all, and you're like, why what we got a live for? Like, why y'all waiting on TMZ? And it's like, why are you so pressed to be the first to break the news?
Yeah.
This is death. it's not, oh, someone went to jail. It's not, oh, someone, whatever other news that is not literal death, And then the whole thing about these narratives about, oh, it was over a dice game and blaming it on gun violence. Now, yesterday I was at a panel, and one of the panelists had brought up the question was, how do we preserve hip hop? And they brought up, we got to do something about this gun violence and making sure people are not. I'm you can't. No, yes, there's an issue with gun violence, but that's not what is you can't put the blame on hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You cannot put the blame on hip hop. America as a whole has a gun problem. There's kids I feel like the conversation of guns is coming up when it comes to hip hop artists, but when it comes to a police officer shooting down a black man unprovoked, gun violence, it's gun violence, huh? Even our community's not talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're so desensitized, oh, another black man dead.
Yeah.
But when it comes to something like this now, it becomes, no, I don't think that's okay. If you're gonna stand on it 10 toes down and bring it up every single time something happens, Yeah.
I agree. It's kind of like when Grand Theft Auto was blamed for violence within kids or TV shows or wrestling. Granted, wrestling does make kids get violent, but it's just no, because at the end of the day, watching something doesn't mean you're gonna do it. You make the choice to do it.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, as more details come out, we'll be able to figure out exactly what happened. But I think there's so much value in knowing when to shut up, people, and I think we really need to remember that. Because think about if it was your family member. Think about if you found out a family member died from an article and you didn't get a call. And then you see people on social media sharing videos of it and making up stories and blaming your uncle or blaming people. People who were blaming Quavo or asking Quavo and Offset for a statement. Would you be quick to make a statement when your family member dies? It really doesn't make sense to me. And as far as where the group goes, I want them to take as much time as possible,
yeah, absolutely,
to heal and process this. It's very difficult losing a family member.
Oh my goodness!
And yeah. I'm in no rush to hear new music or anything or see a social media post. I just want them to be okay. Because
I think, sorry to cut you off, but speaking on that new music situation, what really sucks about artists is that they don't get the opportunity to mourn. When Megan Thee Stallion's mom died, she thought she had to continue. When DaBaby's dad died, he was taught that he had to continue.
Yeah.
When Kanye's mom died, he was taught that he had to continue. And then you see later on these artists, because they never got to grieve and because they never got to mourn and because nobody ever gave them the space to do so, they're having problems later down the line.
Yeah.
And now everyone's pointing fingers at them oh, you're problematic, or oh, you're this, or oh, you're that, or you're complaining and you're blessed though. But you never gave them the space to grieve and be human. I feel like it's unhealthy. It's an unhealthy expectation for you to think that these artists are not human beings.
Yeah.
And that they don't grieve. So I have people that lost their parent back in high school that are still, and there's grief is different for every person, but
exactly.
It's even harder when you're in the limelight and you're never given that, pause. We have bereavement in regular jobs. Why isn't there a space for bereavement in the music industry? We're not freaking cash cows,
Yeah, 100%. It's terrible. So I just want to send my condolences to
absolutely
fans who are dealing with this. Of course, the family, Quavo, Offset, their whole family, everyone, because it just sucks. It's we've lost so many people over the years, and as we're processing it, we then have to process another death, so we can't even cope with the one death that really bothered us. I'm still getting over Pop Smoke. I'm still getting over DMX.
Even PNB Rock.
Nipsey, PNB, and it just gets really nasty. So let's really remember our humanity, but also the humanity of people whose content we consume.
Absolutely.